The fog draped itself over the coastal village of Greyhaven like a widow's veil, heavy and unwept. Clara Hawthorne, a writer seeking refuge from the clamor of her own thoughts, had arrived at the cliffside cottage 2 days ago. It was a place. Rented on impulse, its listing promising solitude and sea views. The cottage, with its sagging roof and peeling paint, stood alone, save for the lighthouse a mile north, its beam cutting through the mist like a blade. On her third night, Clara couldn't sleep. The wind wailed, rattling the windows. She sat by the hearth, her laptop open, words eluding her. A faint tapping began, not the wind, but something deliberate. It came from the attic, a space she hadn't yet explored. She dismissed it as rats, but the rhythm was too human, too precise. Tap, tap, pause, tap, tap, curiosity. That old betrayer pulled her up the narrow stairs. The attic door creaked open, revealing a clutter of forgotten things. A cracked mirror, a trunk, and an oil lantern, unlit but gleaming faintly as if polished yesterday. The tapping stopped. Clara's breath caught as a chill slithered down her spine. She lifted the lantern, its glass warm despite the damp air. A whisper brushed her ear, soft as a sigh. Keep it lit. She fled downstairs, lantern in hand, and set it on the mantel. Sleep was impossible now. She lit it, the flame flickering as if uncertain of its own existence. The cottage felt different, watching, waiting. Clara tried to write, but her fingers typed words she didn't intend. Keep it lit, or he comes. She slammed the laptop shut, heart pounding. The next day, Clara visited Greyhaven's only pub, a squat building called the Drowned Man. The locals were tight-lipped, their eyes wary when she mentioned the cottage. An old fisherman, his face carved by salt and time, leaned close. "That's Keeper's cottage," he muttered. "Belonged to Lazum's Morrow, the last lighthouse keeper." Mad, he was, said the light kept something at bay. Drowned himself when the lantern went out one night. Folks say he's still there, waiting for someone to take his place. Clara laughed it off, but the fisherman's words clung to her. That night, the tapping returned, louder, insistent. The lantern's flame dimmed, though no draft touched it. Shadows danced on the walls, forming shapes long fingers, a stooped figure. Clara's pulse thundered. She added oil, whispered, "Stay lit," as if pleading with the flame itself. The shadows retreated, but the air grew heavy, like a held breath. She couldn't leave. The fog was too thick, the roads treacherous. Clara scoured the attic for answers, finding Elias's journal in the trunk. Its pages were brittle, ink faded but legible. "The light holds it back," he wrote. "It wants in. Always watching. If the lantern dies, so do I." The final entry was scrawled. "I failed. Forgive me." Clara's hands shook as she read. The tapping was now pounding, coming from the walls, the floor, everywhere. The lantern flickered again. She clutched it, oil sloshing, and moved to the window. The lighthouse beam swept past, and in its glow, she saw him, Elias, or what was left of him. His face was hollow, eyes black pits, mouth stretched in a silent scream. He pressed against the glass, hands clawing, leaving no marks but smearing something dark like ink or blood. She screamed, stumbling back. The lantern tipped, oil spilling, flame guttering. "No!" Clara righted it, hands trembling, coaxing the fire back to life. The pounding stopped, but Elias was closer now. She felt him, a presence colder than the sea. The whisper came again, clearer. "Keep it lit, or you're mine." Days blurred into nights. Clara didn't sleep, didn't eat. She stayed by the lantern, feeding it oil, her world shrinking to its fragile glow. The fog never lifted. Elias was always there, just beyond the light on the stairs, in the mirror, in her dreams when exhaustion claimed her. He didn't speak again, but his eyes begged or threatened or both. On the 7th night, Clara broke. She couldn't keep the lantern lit forever. Her hands were raw, her mind fraying. She grabbed Elias's journal and wrote her own entry. "I'm sorry. I tried." She set the lantern on the floor, its flame steady for now, and opened the cottage door. The fog swallowed the world, but the lighthouse beam still turned. A distant pulse. Clara stepped outside, the cold biting her skin. Elias was waiting, his form sharper now, almost solid. He reached for her, and she ran, not toward the village, but to the lighthouse. If the lantern failed, maybe the greater light could save her. The cliff path was slick, the sea roaring below. She stumbled, fell, climbed again, the lighthouse looming closer. Inside, the spiral stairs seemed endless. Her lungs burned as she reached the lantern room, its massive beam blinding. She didn't know what to do keep it lit, like the cottage lantern, but the light was already blazing, and Elias was still coming. She felt him on the stairs, his presence a weight dragging her down. The beam flickered, not the bulb, but something passing through it, dimming its power. Elias's silhouette filled the doorway, his voice a rasp. "You can't run." Clara backed against the glass, the sea crashing far below. The light weakened, shadows pooling like oil. Elias's hand closed around her wrist, cold as death, pulling her into the dark. The next morning, the fog lifted. The cottage stood empty, the lantern cold, its oil gone. Claire's laptop was open, a single line typed, "He's here." In Greyhaven, the locals whispered of Keeper's cottage, of Elias Morrow, and now of the woman who vanished. The lighthouse beam still turned, but some swore it dimmed at night, as if struggling against something older, hungrier, waiting for the next keeper to fail. Clara's scream was swallowed by the lighthouse's roar as Elias's icy grip tightened on her wrist. The beam flickered, shadows writhing like living things. She clawed at his hand, her nails scraping something not flesh but slick, like seaweed or oil. The light dimmed further, and Elias's hollow eyes gleamed with hunger, or was it fear? "You can't run," he rasped, pulling her toward the darkening stairwell. Her free hand found the lantern room's control panel, a rusted lever slick with condensation. Desperate, she yanked it, expecting nothing. A grinding hum answered, and the beam surged, blinding. Elias shrieked, his form dissolving into smoke, his grip vanishing. Clara collapsed, gasping, the light's pulse steadying like a heartbeat. The stairwell was empty, but the air hummed with menace. She couldn't stay. The lighthouse wasn't safe, its light had repelled Elias, but only just. Clutching Elias's journal, forgotten in her coat pocket, Clara stumbled down the stairs. The fog outside had thinned, stars piercing the sky like pinpricks. Greyhaven's lights winked in the distance, but the cottage pulled at her, a nagging dread. The lantern. She'd left it unlit. The cliff path was treacherous, her boots slipping on wet stone. The sea churned below, its whispers almost words. "Keep it lit." Clara reached the cottage, its door ajar, swaying in the wind. Inside, the lantern sat cold on the floor, oil pooled beneath it. Her laptop screen glowed faintly, the words "He's here" still stark. But something else caught her eye, a photograph tucked under the lantern, yellowed and curled. It showed a woman, her face eerily familiar, standing by the lighthouse, holding the same lantern. On the back, in faded ink, Clara, 1895. Her breath stopped. It couldn't be her, a trick, a coincidence. But the woman's eyes, her jawline identical. Clara's hands shook as she lit the lantern, the flame weak but alive. The cottage groaned, floorboards creaking as if stepped on. Elias's voice slithered from the shadows, "You've always been mine." Not a threat, a statement, heavy with weary truth. Clara backed toward the hearth, journal falling open. A new page caught her eye, one she hadn't seen. She returns every century. Wearing a new face, the light binds her as it binds me. We are its keepers, cursed to hold it back. Below, a sketch of the lantern, its gloss etched with symbols' runes, pulsing faintly in the firelight. Clara's skin prickled. She wasn't just a victim. She was part of this. Somehow, the twist sank in like a blade. Clara wasn't a stranger. T.O. Greyhaven. She was its prisoner, reborn across time, tethered to the lantern and Elias. The thing they kept at bay wasn't him. It was something worse, using Elias as its herald. The lighthouse beam swept past, and in its glow, she saw not one figure but dozens, spectral forms crowding the windows, their faces hers, each from a different era, mouthing, "Keep it lit." Panic clawed at her. She grabbed the lantern, its warmth now searing, and ran to the attic. The trunk was open, spilling papers, letters, all addressed to Clara, spanning centuries. One, dated 1795, read, "The lantern's light is her soul, fragmented. To free yourself, break it." Another 1695, breaking it feeds it. Run, contradictions. Despair, Clara's head spun. Was she doomed to repeat this, or could she end it? The pounding returned, shaking the cottage. Elias appeared at the attic door, his form fraying, eyes pleading. "Don't let it out," he whispered. "You promised. Promised?" Clara had no memory of vows, yet a weight settled in her chest. Ancient and binding. The lantern's flame surged, its runes glowing brighter. The mirror in the attic cracked, reflecting not Clara but her past selves. Their hands reaching, she had to choose, keep the light or break it. The lantern burned her palms, urging her to act. Elias lunged, but not for her, for the lantern. Trying to shield it. "No," he cried as Clara raised it high. She didn't know why, only that instinct screamed to shatter it. The glass smashed, oil igniting in a blaze. Elias howled, dissolving, but the fire didn't die. It grew unnatural, forming a doorway of flame. Through it stepped not Elias, but the thing they'd kept at bay. No face, no form, just a void with eyes, endless and starving. Clara's past selves screamed in her mind, their voices one. "You freed it." The void laughed, a sound like drowning, and reached for her. But the lighthouse beam pierced the cottage, blinding, and the void recoiled. Clara ran, the fire spreading, the cottage collapsing. She reached the cliff's edge, the sea roaring below. The void pursued, slower in the lighthouse's light, but relentless. Clara's past selves whispered, fragmented, "Jump, end it. Start." Again, she clutched the journal, its pages burning in her hands. The twist wasn't just her curse, it was her choice. Every century, she'd fought, failed, and returned. But this time, she remembered. Clara leaped, the sea swallowing her. The void scream faded, the lighthouse beam unwavering. In Greyhaven, the cottage burned to ash, the lantern's shards lost. The locals spoke of the fire, of the woman who vanished. But the lighthouse keeper's log, found later, had a new entry in Clara's hand. "I'll come back, I'll fight." Not for the light, but for us. Deep in the sea, Clara's eyes opened. Not dead, not alive waiting. The lantern's runes glowed faintly on her skin, a promise or a chain. She'd return as always, but now she knew the truth. The light wasn't her salvation. It was her prison, and next time, she'd burn it all down. The sea was a void colder than death, pressing against Clara's lungs. She didn't drown, couldn't. Her body sank, but her mind burned, the lantern's runes glowing on her skin like embers. Faces swam in the dark, her past selves, their eyes hollow, mouths sewn shut with light. They clawed at her, whispering in a tongue older than bone. "You broke it. You woke it." The void's laughter echoed not above, but within her, a parasite burrowing into her soul. Clara's feet touched the ocean floor, silt rising like ash. A shape loomed, a sunken ship, its hull split, leaking shadows that writhed like eels. The runes on her skin pulsed, pulling her toward it. She fought, but her body moved as if puppeted, stepping through a gash in the ship's side. Inside, the air was wrong dry, warm, pulsing with a heartbeat not her own. The walls glistened, not wood but flesh, veins throbbing under barnacle-crusted skin. A lantern hung from the ceiling, identical to the one she'd shattered, its flame a sickly green. Elias stood before it, his form fraying, half man, half seaweed. His eyes were in his own black, endless like the void's. "You shouldn't have come," he croaked, voice layered with others, a chorus of the damned. "It's awake now, and it knows you." The ship shuddered, the heartbeat quickening. Clara's runes burned, and the lantern's flame flared, revealing carvings on the walls. Her face, countless times, each with eyes gouged out. She backed away, but the floor rippled, tendrils of flesh snaring her ankles. Elias lunged, not to attack but to plead, his hands dissolving into mist. "It's not me you fight," he gasped. "It's you." The twist hit like a scream. Clara wasn't just bound to the lantern. She was the lantern, her soul its flame, forged eons ago to trap the void. Every life, every Clara, was a shard of that light, reborn to keep it caged. But breaking the lantern hadn't freed her. It had freed the void, and now it wore her soul like a skin. The ship's walls pulsed, her own face forming in the flesh, smiling without eyes. "Welcome home," it said, her own voice, but wrong, dripping with hunger. The void wasn't an entity, it was her shadow, born when her soul was split to bind it. Every century, she'd kept the light, thinking she fought a monster, but she'd been feeding herself to it, piece by piece. The lantern's runes weren't. A curse, they were her essence, and now they betrayed her, stitching her to the void. Clara screamed, the sound swallowed by the ship's heartbeat. The tendrils tightened, pulling her toward the lantern. Its flame grew, showing visions. Greyhaven in flames, the lighthouse crumbling, the sea boiling with eyes. Her past selves emerged from the walls, their sewn mouths tearing open, spilling light that burned her skin. "You made us," they hissed. "You unmade us." Elias dissolved, his final whisper, "Forgive yourself." The void's laughter shook her bones. It didn't need to chase her, it was her. The ship's flesh parted, revealing a heart massive, beating, her face etched into its surface. The lantern floated above it, its flame now her eyes, staring back. Clara's body moved, unmoored from her will, her hands reaching for the heart. If she touched it, she'd merge, the void complete, her soul its fuel forever. But a memory flickered, not hers, but theirs, her past selves. A Clara from 1595, standing on the cliff, lantern in hand, whispering, "The light lies." Another 1295, carving runes into her own skin, bleeding light. It's not the flame, it's the dark. Clara's runes throbbed, not with the void's power, but with theirs her own, reclaimed. The twist deepened. The void wasn't her shadow. It was a lie, a parasite that had tricked her soul into believing it was part of her. The lantern wasn't her prison, it was its trap, and she'd been the bait dealt with a roar. Clara tore free, the tendrils shredding her skin, blood mixing with seawater. She seized the lantern, its flames searing her hands, and smashed it against the heart. The ship screamed, the void's laughter choking into rage. Light erupted, not green but white, blinding, her past selves' voices rising. "Burn it." The heart convulsed, cracking, shadows spilling like oil. Clara's runes flared, her body unraveling, not into the void but into light. She woke on Greyhaven's shore, dawn bleeding across the sky. The lighthouse stood, its beam off, glass shattered. The cottage was gone, only ash remaining. Her skin was bare, no runes, but her hands trembled with memory. The sea was silent, no whispers, no eyes. In the village, the locals stared, their faces pale. The pub's fisherman approached, his voice low. "You're back." Clara froze. "Back." He pointed to a gravestone in the churchyard, moss-covered but legible. Clara Hawthorne, 1925. Keeper, lost to the sea. The final twist sank in. She hadn't escaped. She never left. The void was gone, burned out, but the light, the true light, her soul was still bound, not to the lantern, but to Greyhaven. Every death, every leap, brought her back, not to fight, but to wait. For what she didn't know. That night, Clara stood on the cliff, the sea whispering again, soft, almost kind. A new lantern sat at her feet, unlit, its glass etched with runes. She didn't touch it. Behind her, the lighthouse creaked, its door open, shadows moving inside. Her own voice called from within, gentle, terrifying. "Keep it lit, Clara. For me." Clara stood frozen on the cliff, the new lantern's runes glinting under the starlight. Her own voice echoed from the lighthouse, soft and venomous. "Keep it lit, Clara. For me." The sea hissed below, its waves curling like fingers. She didn't touch the lantern. Instead, she turned, drawn to the lighthouse's open door, where shadows pulsed like a living tide. Her gravestone's words burned in her mind. Clara Hawthorne, 1925, Keeper. If she was bound to Greyhaven, she needed answers, not another flame to tend. The lighthouse stairs spiraled tighter than before, the walls slick with something that smelled of salt and decay. Her footsteps echoed, but not alone. Another set followed, out of sync, too light, like a child's. At the lantern room, the great light was shattered, yet a glow lingered, sourceless, casting her shadow in a dozen directions. On the floor lay a book, not Elias's journal, but older, leather-cracked, pages pulsing with the same runes as her lantern. She opened it, and the air screamed. The pages weren't paper but skin, thin and translucent, inked with her handwriting across. Centuries, languages she didn't know, yet understood. The light is a lie, the dark is a door. We are the key. Below, a map of Greyhaven, its cliffs and village marked with symbols. A spiral at the lighthouse, a circle at the cottage, a jagged line beneath the church. Lines connected them, forming a rune larger than the town itself. Clara's blood ran cold. Greyhaven wasn't a place, it was a cage, built to hold something older than the void she'd burned. The child's footsteps stopped. A girl stood in the doorway, no older than 10, her face Clara's but softer, eyes too large, too black. "You found it," she said, voice a chorus of Clara's layered across time. "You always do?" The girl held a lantern, its flame white, not green, its runes shifting like liquid. "We made this place," she said, stepping closer. "You, me, us." "To keep them out," Clara's mind reeled. "Them?" The girl smiled, teeth sharp, and pointed to the sea. The horizon rippled, not water, but a membrane, bulging as if something pressed against it from the other side. Shapes moved beyond, massive, formless, their eyes like stars, hungry and ancient. The void wasn't one entity, but a gateway, and Clara hadn't destroyed it. She'd opened it wider. The twist unfurled like a wound. Clara wasn't just the lantern's keeper or its flame. She was Greyhaven itself, her soul woven into its stones, its fog, its sea. Every life, she'd rebuilt the town unknowingly, her memories erased, but her purpose etched into its foundations. The villagers, the fishermen, even Elias, they were fragments of her, reflections of her will, created to maintain the seal. The girl was her first self, the one who'd forged the lantern eons ago, when the stars weren't stars but eyes. "Why?" Clara whispered, the book trembling in her hands. The girl's smile faded. "They came before time," she said. "We couldn't kill them, so we trapped them. Your soul was the price split, scattered, reborn to guard the door." The lighthouse. Shook, cracks splitting the walls, revealing not stone but bone, pulsing with runes. The girl's lantern flared, and Clara's shadows merge, forming a figure herself, but whole, radiant, terrifying. "You're waking up," the girl said. "That's bad." The sea roared, the membrane tearing. Shapes pressed closer, their whispers clawing at Clara's mind. "Let us in." The book burned her hands, its pages turning to ash, but the map lingered, glowing on the floor. The church's jagged line pulsed fastest, a heartbeat. Clara ran, the girl's laughter chasing her. Not mocking, but desperate. "You can't stop it," she called. "You're the key." The village was wrong, streets twisted, houses leaned, their windows' eyes watching. The church loomed, its steeple a claw against the sky. Inside, the air was thick, the pews empty, but humming with presence. Her gravestone stood at the altar, split, a staircase descending beneath. Clara hesitated, then followed, the girl's lantern light trailing her like a ghost. The stairs ended in a cavern, its walls carved with her face, thousands of times, each screaming. At the center, a pool of black water, its surface a mirror. Clara looked, and her reflection wasn't hers, it was the girl. The void Elias, all herselves, and something else, a cosmos of eyes staring back. The pool spoke, her voice. "You built this to hold us. Now open it." Clara's runes burned, her skin cracking, light spilling out. The twist deepened. She hadn't just trapped the entities, she'd invited them, long ago, in a bargain for power, for knowledge. The lantern, Greyhaven, her endless lives, they were penance, not a curse. She'd betrayed creation, and her soul was the lock, the key, the door. The girl appeared, tears streaming, not water but light. "You can end it," she said. "Break yourself." The cavern shook, the pool rising, tendrils of stars and shadow reaching. Clara's hands moved, unbidden, tracing the runes on her skin. They glowed, the cavern cracking, the sea above screaming. She could open the door, let them in, end her cycle. Or she could break, scatter her soul again, seal them for another century. The girl clutched her hand, small, warm, real. "Choose," she whispered. Clara closed her eyes. The lighthouse beam flickered, far above. She chose. The next dawn, Greyhaven was quiet. A new cottage stood, a new lantern on its mantle, unlit. A woman arrived, a writer, her face Clara's but not. The villagers nodded, knowing. The sea whispered, soft, waiting. The girl watched from the cliff, her lantern dim, her smile sad. "Next time," she said, and vanished. Clara stood in the cavern, the pool of black water rippling with the cosmos of eyes, their whispers a cacophony in her skull. Opened the door. Her skin split, light leaking from rune-carved wounds, her soul fraying under the weight of eons. The girl, her first self, small and radiant, clutched her hand, eyes wet with light. "Choose," she whispered, voice cracking. The cavern trembled, Greyhaven's bones groaning above, the sea roaring like a beast unchained. Clara's mind churned with revelations. She'd built Greyhaven as a prison for starborn horrors, betrayed creation and a forgotten bargain, and bound her soul to seal them. Every life, every lantern was her penance, her soul the lock and key. The girl's words echoed, "Break yourself." To seal the door again, she'd scatter her soul, restarting the cycle. To open it, she'd unleash the entities, ending her torment, but dooming all else. A third path flickered, faint, impossible. Destroy the door itself. The pool surged, tendrils of shadow and starlight lashing out, grazing her skin, burning like acid. Her past selves screamed from the walls, their carved faces weeping blood. The girl's lantern flared, its white flame showing a memory not Clara's, but the entity's. A time before time, when they weren't horrors, but creators, betrayed by her bargain, twisted into hunger. Clara's heart stuttered. The twist sank in. She hadn't just invited them, she'd stolen their light, forging the lantern from their essence, making herself their jailer and their prey. The cavern's heartbeat quickened, the pool's eyes locking onto her. "Oh, us," they hissed, her voice layered with theirs. Clara's runes pulsed, not with her light, but theirs, stolen eons ago. The girl's grip tightened, her form flickering, half child, half star. "You can't destroy the door," she said. "It's you." The final twist cut deeper. Greyhaven, the lantern, the sea, they weren't just her creation. She was the door, her soul the threshold between worlds. To end this, she'd have to erase herself, not just scatter but unmake. The tendrils lunged, wrapping her wrists, pulling her toward the pool. Her light dimmed, the runes fading. The girl's lantern fell, its flame guttering. Clara's mind flashed to Greyhaven, the cottage, the lighthouse, the villagers, all fragments of her. As she unmade herself, they'd vanish too. The fisherman's weathered face, Elias's pleading eyes, the pub's warmth, they were hers, real in their way. She couldn't let them go. With a scream, Clara tore free, blood and light streaming. She seized the girl's lantern, its glass cracking under her grip. The pool roared, the entity's eyes blazing. She didn't know how, only that she must. She pressed the lantern to her chest, her runes igniting, not to seal or open, but to burn. The cavern shook, the walls' faces dissolving, their screams fading. The girl gasped, reaching, but Clara whispered, "I'm sorry," and let go. Light erupted. Not white or green, but every color none, consuming the pool, the cavern, the sea above. The entities howled, not in rage but release, their forms unraveling, stars collapsing into nothing. Clara felt herself unspool every life, every Clara, every rune dissolving into the blaze. Greyhaven crumbled, its cliffs sinking, the lighthouse toppling, the village fading like a dream. The girl's face was the last, smiling, free. Nothing remained. No sea, no sky, no time. Clara was gone, not reborn, not bound. The door was closed, not sealed, but erased. The entities neither freed nor trapped, but ended. Their light returned to the void before creation. Silence reigned, absolute, yet, in a place that wasn't a place, a spark lingered. Not Clara, not the lantern, but something new. A whisper, formless, curious. What now? It drifted, seeking, until it found a shore not Greyhaven's, but another, where fog curled and a lighthouse stood, its beam steady. A woman arrived, a writer, her face unknown but familiar. She carried a notebook, its pages blank but heavy with possibility. The villagers greeted her, their eyes kind, unaware. The pub hummed with laughter, the sea sang soft. The woman settled. In a cottage, unaware of the spark watching, waiting, she lit a candle, its flame ordinary, warm. The spark sighed, content, and faded, not to bind or break, but to rest in a lighthouse. A book lay open, its pages blank. The beam turned, unneeded but vigilant. The sea whispered, not of keepers or doors, but of stories, endless and free. Greyhaven was gone, but its echo lived, not in stone or light, but in the woman's pen, tracing words she didn't yet know. The lantern's keeper is no more.